around for a while as a wanderer. Dispersed all over the place, you're listening to the voice, a spectator of your journey. Please stop and close your eyes. Try to escape reality. Use your imagination as a way to travel. Your mind is powerful. You are standing without moving, leaving the sensations of your direct environment behind you. You are now far from your body. Feel free to go further. There are no limits. Traveling is easy. You only need to let the images pass through your mind. Are your eyes still closed? You are moving on. Imagine seconds that pass and how they turn into hours, into years, into decades. You are moving so fast. How do you feel? How is your memory of the real world? Let it be vaporous. A fog slowly appears around you. It is enveloping you. It's caressing your body. All you can see now is a deep white. There are so many people around you, but you can't see them. You are in the same thick fog. The place where you were is gone. Can you feel your body floating in space? You are not touching the ground anymore. There is no ground. You can fly, but there is no sky. You can move. There is no wall. You are evolving in this white, infinite space. Try to make all images disappear into your mind. This place is blank. Take a deep breath. Contemplate this infinite space you have created with your mind. Two parallel lines are now appearing. This is your way home, back to the surroundings you departed from. Take your time. You can stay in this space longer. You can also travel back whenever you want. You can now open your eyes. You've been standing here together with many other people, standing silently, listening to this voice, which is heard simultaneously in 10 different cities over Europe. You have transformed the you into we. We have created an open space together. You are at the beginning of your journey, evolving between the physical world and this intangible platform we've made together.
Slowly start walking. You are outside, but still enclosed. Look around. You are in a square. Walk forward. The rhythm will keep you going. Try to match your pace to the music. Keep on walking until you reach the edge of this place. Upon reaching that point, turn left. Keep on going left. You will go around this place. Circle around, walking on the margins. Everyone defines the border differently, each taking a different path, but together you are now part of a vortex, a counterclockwise flow, like a stream or a river that encircles this square. You are orbiting, we are orbiting, we are all walking counterclockwise. We are part of the movement. Right now, people are orbiting in Amsterdam, Barcelona, Berlin, Cluj, London, Paris, Prague, Rome, Sofia, and Warsaw. At this moment, they are hearing the same as you. You are all walking together.
What is a movement? It is an event opening up a new landscape. When a movement happens in the field of art, in the field of social politics, this is the effect. Thanks to the movement, literally a displacement, you are able to see things that you did not see before. A new rhythm makes it possible to see a new landscape. And when you see the landscape, you discover new ways.
On the edges of the space, a vortex flow has formed, an evolving rotational movement that defines a new space. The constantly shifted and dragged perspective marks out temporary collectivities. The people inside are now part of the movement. Some happen to pass by, going about on their usual route. They inadvertently overlap the vortex movement and thus join in only to enhance the flow. As such, everybody that is encircled, surrounded by the vortex, also contributes and is part of this newly formed space. Slow down your pace until you stroll the streets, like someone on a day out in town.
Look around you. We have arrived in a zone separate from governmental structures. A zone that only knows temporary organizational forms and that might move to a different location at any time. This is what Hakim Bey called a temporary autonomous zone. There are many of these zones being formed as we speak, at least in 10 other cities at this very moment, but also on pirate islands, in virtual hacker communities, and in apartments filled with silent protests.
Look at the ground. Think about lying down here. Are you worried about the dirt? Or are you uncomfortable disrupting normal behavior? Smell the air around you. Does it smell bad? If it does, and you'd rather not lie down there, take a few steps away until it looks better. Don't worry, we're still in the temporary autonomous zone here. No dirt or normalities will stop you. Now lie down on the street. Lie comfortable on your side or stomach. Let your head rest on your arm and put your ear to the ground. Listen carefully to what you hear underneath. Close your eyes. Temporarily, we refuse to take part. Temporarily, we are pirates, quietly listening to our own temporary autonomous zone. We can start writing our own laws from scratch. Borders and nations are temporary, moving entities that can adapt and redefine. Listen. Do you hear the other autonomous zones shouting out their solidarity to you? Temporarily, you can rise up against that which you don't agree with. You refuse to move along, to abide, to step aside. You lie down and resist. You barricade the temporary autonomous zone, however brief as it may be. Think of those others that are resisting with you, each for their own reasons, all over the world. You are strong.
Uprising is a word used by historians to label failed revolutions. By failing, the uprising suggests the possibility of a movement outside and beyond the Hegelian spiral of that progress, which is secretly nothing more than a vicious circle. Realism demands not only that we give up waiting for the revolution, but also that we give up wanting it. Uprising, yes, as often as possible, and even at the risk of violence.
Listen further into the ground. Listen to the moving earth. The continental plates are shifting. Africa is slowly moving towards Europe. It will join and form the supercontinent Euphrasia. Millimeter by millimeter, mountain ridges are forming and borders are changing. The earth underneath you is rising up, and you are catching on as a temporary traveller. Stand up and look around you. Walk over the square and try to merge with the other people passing by. Try to become invisible. Stand next to a tree or lamppost. Sit between people that are resting, or copy the walking movements of others. Look at the other people on the square. Please find the rest of your group. It's important to be within eyesight. Try and see all or most of the group. Look at each other. Create a visual connection. This is what the collective looks like. Blended in, but aware of its existence. Keep looking at each other. Pay attention to what the others look like and how they look at you, what they wear, and what you think of them. Now, please come closer together. Yes, start walking towards each other, so each of you are very close together. Don't be shy. You're not strangers. Please stand close to each other. You are a collective, so look like one. Stand as close to each other as you can, but don't talk. Feel the body of the collective swarm a little bit. You can poke, touch, scratch, rub, shake, or push. Feel the body of the collective. Stay close together and don't walk away. Now please, listen carefully. The collective starts walking. Come on, move forward with everyone. The collective should stay together and walk together. The collective has the same direction. You're walking now. Walk and stay together. Don't spread. Don't disperse. You are the collective. Walk towards whatever the collective wants to walk towards. Remember, stay as close to each other as you can. Feel the will of the collective. Keep on moving. You move as one, you walk as one. Stay close together. Let the will of the collective find a destination. Keep on walking. Find your own direction, but walk together. Walk a little bit more. Now you have walked long enough. Stop. Stay together. Are you stopped? Don't move. The collective has stopped. Determine where you are standing on the square. Are you in the middle or on the edge of the square? If you are on the edge, please walk towards the middle.
Stretch out your hands sideways. Hold hands with the others and form a circle. Everybody should be part of the circle. Move back as far as you can whilst holding hands. Lean backwards. The tension of the circle will hold you. How do you feel on this border? Does feeling the skin of two other hands give you more energy? Slowly start walking sideways to the right side and start to make this circle spin like a planet lost in space.
Protesters hit back at the Prime Minister Erdogan's description of them as looters and vandals and mark their opposition with peaceful dancing as a form of resistance. They dance through the night in Taksim Square in what has become a defiant carnival of protest. Hundreds join traditional Turkish folkloric dances in the square, while others release paper lanterns into the skies above. Dancing has become a form of protest.
Please stop turning.
People are dancing in the streets in Greece and Turkey while police target them. They dance to protect one another from the police. They dance because dance is a suspension of the rhythm of the economy and also the suspension of the rhythm of history.
Gently free your hands from each other. When you hear a loud bang, run to the center of the circle. Come as close to each other as possible. Form a concentric mass of bodies. Lean against each other and feel the weight of each other. Once you feel a compact and concentric mass of bodies, drop together on the ground. Lie on the ground all together and feel the weight of other bodies. Slowly, and with the help of your hands, stand up. Stretch yourself when you stand. Make sure you are not entangled anymore with somebody else. Fall back down again. Slowly stand up, stretch yourself and run away from each other. Run as fast as you can until you reach the most distant point in space you can within this square. Stop. Observe each other at a long distance.
You are listening now, and you are silent. Everything around you is not silent. There is a lot of noise out there, but you make no noise. You are silent, and stay silent throughout this whole exercise. You will not make a sound. Now we are in the Academy of Fine Arts in Prague. We are roughly in the middle of Professor Václav Bělohradský's lecture, which he called The Parts Without the Participation, or about post-society.
What are the 4 events that we cannot miss out when we want to describe the present times? The first one is the total inefficiency of protests against the political and economic status quo. Protests have the form of some sort of carnivals, but what characterizes them most is that they have no influence on the system whatsoever.
Open your mouth. Not too wide, not too little. Imagine that you are making a long and constant sound, but stay silent. Keep making silent noise.
Nowadays, we live in a society in which the establishment no longer needs to be legitimate, in which the power no longer seeks any consensus. It is no longer hegemonic because it does not
That is
need
good for
symbols.
now. Close your lips. Now we'll try something harder. Just remember, do not make a sound. Yell, but do not make a sound. Yell as much as you can. Yell so strong that your face turns red and you run out of breath. Yell until you cannot anymore.
The protests are in vain because we are obsolete. We use symbols and try to legitimize the system symbolically, but the society is already indifferent to it.
The police operation may have scattered the chanting, marching crowds, but we're turning silence and stillness into a new form of resistance. It started on Monday. A man was standing dead still in Taksim Square, hands in his pockets, staring silently. For 5 long hours, he simply did not move. We noticed the solitary figure and decided to follow his example. Erdogan banned demonstrations on Taksim Square, and the government announced that anyone caught protesting there would be treated as a terrorist. But we were simply standing, saying nothing and making no demands. Finally, the police dispersed us quietly.
Find the others and create a barricade with your body. Try to block the walkway together, forming a barricade.
Social solidarity is not an ethical value or an ideological value. It depends on the continuousness of the relation between individuals in time and in space. The material foundation of solidarity is the perception of the continuity of the body in the body and the immediate understanding of the consistency of my interest and your interest.
Maintain the barricade.
The platform Stop Desahucios, an anti-eviction activist group in Spain, prevented the eviction of a 35-year-old woman and her 15-year-old daughter by blocking her doorway to prevent police access. Over 30 people have blocked the door of the building. The eviction was requested by Banco Sabadell Atlántico.
Do not let anyone pass. Maintain the barricade.
A city is a dead structure made by living beings.
The police have just stormed the barricade and injured one of us. Somebody from the barricade, please volunteer to be the injured one. It's not important who it is. Please, injured protester, lie on the floor. The rest of the barricade. Comrades, lift up the injured protester and take them to the other side of the square. Quick, take care of them before they're trampled. Gently lie down the injured protester and help them to get up. Protest rejects a view of the city as a public space where subjects act as private citizens, sitting, strolling and shopping. Politics is no longer restricted to a particular institution or place. It can be exercised everywhere, whenever citizens come together as citizens and debate the public interest.
Run away, disperse. Lose the others out of sight. Run into the side streets of the square. Stop. Stand still. Put your hands in your pockets and look ahead.
Since 2010, there have been protests in over 100 countries around the world. Algeria, Arabia, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Austria, Bahrain, Belgium, Bolivia, Bosnia, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Catalonia, Chile, China, Colombia, Costa Rica, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Djibouti, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Egypt, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Guatemala, Herzegovina, Honduras, Hong Kong, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Macedonia, Malaysia, Mauritania, Mexico, Mongolia, Montenegro, Morocco, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nigeria, Norway, Oman, Pakistan, Palestine, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Somalia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sudan, Sweden, Switzerland, Syria, Taiwan, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, Uruguay, Ukraine, Western Sahara and Yemen. Approximately 122,000 people have died from injuries sustained at protests around the world in the last 3 years. No protest is like any other. Each is singular in time and space and in relation to other phenomena. Protest can be regarded as an almost continuous state of temporary instances, fleeting occurrences in cities, towns and countryside that contest the status quo, that demand equality and freedom. It could be seen as a state of permanent revolution, of people like you striving to improve the lives that we lead. We will not attempt to integrate these diverse protests into a unified concept of protest worldwide, but underline that other protests are being planned and executed right now. It might not always be covered by the media, but we should remember that people like us, right now, are recovering after being stuck in a peace kettle, or being locked in jail, or hit, or killed. Look around you. You are one person in a city who is taking part in a collective action, which is taking place in 10 cities around Europe. In each of those cities, there are people listening at the same time to the same thing. We can't always